Hi guys. Been a while to say the least. I have been working on stuff all the time that I haven't been on YouTube, but I just haven't had the chance to do YouTube videos, unfortunately. But hopefully I'm going to be able to commit to at least one video a week from now on. That is the plan anyway. And today I have quite a big announcement for me anyway. Just gonna get a sip of coffee, sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so big announcement. I have finally opened an Etsy shop. Now it's small and it's basic at the moment, but you know, I have to start somewhere, I guess. And it's a bit of a learning curve. Excuse me. So what I want to do today is show you some of the journals that I have in the shop. Now there's one of the journals already has a video previously, so if you see it in the shop, there's a link for the video for that, and I'll put the link actually down below as well. But this is one of the ones that is in the shop at the minute. It is nice and fat. It has a 1.5 inch spine and it's got a lovely metal decorated piece on the spine and a spine charm. Let's see if I can get that up closer for you. There you go. So yeah, lots of little beads and dangles and charms on that. It has a brad closure. It has 4 silver corners, front and back. And the ribbon and lace just slips off of the brad, but this can actually be adjusted as well. So we have a fabric cover. I haven't put anything on the front cover of this one, which to be fair isn't my norm, but I felt that the fabric was enough, you know, I really did. It is quite a pretty fabric. So yeah, inside. Okay, the title of this journal is Ladies at Leisure, and it kind of came about when I was thinking about, I actually made another journal called Ladies, was it Ladies Garden or Ladies in the Garden? And this one came about, I was thinking, while I was making that other journal, I was thinking that back in those times, back in, like we'll say, turn of the century, just before the turn of the century, lords and ladies and the nobility and all the rest of it living on large estates. And I'm sorry if you can hear my little kitten in the background. We have a new baby in the house and here he comes for a visit. But anyway, yeah, so I was thinking about the fact that the gardens on the estate would have been very much an integral part of life, particularly in the summer, and probably the spring as well. It was used very much like an outdoor room, I guess. So yeah, that's what I was thinking about. So this is Ladies at Leisure, and it's got lots of pictures of not just ladies, people in the garden just laughing and chatting with friends and things like that. So I'm just going to do a quick flip. We have some altered paper clips and a very insistent kitty cat. Photographs throughout, and some of the photographs have notations and things on the back of them. Some stenciling, all tea dyed paper. There's 5 signatures in this, and I think there's a total of 160 pages. Now I could be wrong about that, but I will I'll put a notation on the screen for you to let you know. Some washi tape, there are pockets and extra journaling spaces and things like that as well. Little charms, some collage, some prints, stamping, more photographs. So yeah, it's very much kind of, it's a garden journal, but it's also a ladies journal. So we have little flips and tucks and all the rest of it in here as well. more collage. Belly bands. Lots of writing room in here, even though it is quite decorated. There's quite a bit in it. There is still quite a lot of room for writing, and the journal cards and pull-outs and things like that all give extra journaling space as well. So this is one of my favourite images in the book. It's just a lady on a ladder peeking over a garden wall. I think it's very cheeky. So that's that one. And it's plain on the back for writing. Some nice vellum. More stamping. Photographs. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed making this. There's some stenciling with texture. It was actually one of the most enjoyable ones to make, I think, so far. I really kind of liked it, and I love how it came out. So this is actually a transfer onto fabric. My first time trying it, and I'm quite pleased with how that came out. Envelope. This is quite special as well. It's just a lady and a guy in the garden. I think they're flirting. It's backed onto velvet and some old satin material that came from a framed picture. I took the frame and the picture out, and I wanted it for the old grungy fabric. Look at it, it's just stunning. So it's that. So collage, stamping, lace. This is a letter lock. Now I'm not going to open this because it can take a while to get back together. But you can find instructions online for putting them back together as well, and how to fold them and stuff. But it's actually a replica of a letter lock. It's not just one that I made up myself and did a letter lock on it. It's actually a scan and a total replica. So you have all the tape markings and everything on it. Some writing on the back. Writing all the ways through, and you can read all the little notations on the sides and things like that. It's very sweet. And a journaling card. Oh, it's actually an envelope on the back with some goodies inside. Some stenciling. Tea-dyed texture on some of the pages as well. More photographs. That's quite a nice journaling card. I've stamped the back of it. It's very pretty. So, yeah. So this is a very exciting venture for me to be opening my Etsy shop. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. Unfortunately, I would have liked to have been keeping up with my videos all the time, but life got hectic. I mean hectic. I've a new kitten, I have a new job, yada yada yada. So while I was still able to get in and make journals, kind of do a bit here and there, I just didn't get time to sit down and do videos. So just another notebook, another altered paper clip, flip up. So I have a few journals, not too many, but I have a couple of journals to show you today. This is just the first one. So this kind of goes on in the same vein. It's got a lot of writing space, got some photographs, tucks, envelopes and pockets and all sorts of garden goodness. This theme really kind of captured my attention. It really captured my imagination. Like this girl, what's she thinking about? Has she had a fight with someone? Is she sulking? Is she just lazing away a summer's afternoon? Yeah, I love it. Some stamping, collage. This is quite cool as well. So that's the front of it. It is a flip. Little booklet, and there's pieces that can come out, and on the back of it is the back of the little girl. So I thought that was really cool. all different kind of papers and size papers and things in here as well. Pretty envelope with bits and pieces inside. Stamping, stenciling. More paper, another altered paper clip. There's tuck, journaling space. Photograph. It is quite photograph heavy because I wanted to almost document how people used the garden and how integral it was to their lives. Almost document, obviously, it's not a document as such, but some more stenciling. An envelope, washi, photograph. This is like a garden party. All the girlies. And on the back of it I actually have written Easter Garden Party 1905. So yeah, they would have had garden parties, quite a lot of them. Little serenade music paper. Another flip with a notebook. Some foiling on these papers. And it's also a side pocket. Another altered paper clip. Some more journaling space in here. Another tuck, stenciling and prints. And that is the back page. So that's that one. I do really like the flip out on the front because it's an envelope as well. Quite enjoyed that photograph. So that's that one. That is in my Etsy shop. I shall leave a link under the video. We'll get on to the next journal. So I'm going to do these as one flip almost, because they are quite similar. They are both altered book covers. There was a title on this and I cut it out to put in a nameplate. And this one has a brass nameplate on the front and some corners. This one has brass corners as well. Ooh, there we go. Can you see? That's it. And on the spine of this one as well, it's got a leather covering on the spine and a brad decoration. Fabric spine on this one. Okay, so these have been left pretty naked. They're semi-naked. I'm going to do a quick flip of this one first and I'll show you the other one very quickly then. This is Nick the Booksmith marbled paper and a Nick the Booksmith print as well actually. And the book lays flat, as you can see. It's got a curved spine, it's hollow back binding, and it's got a mix of pages. This is an end paper from an old book, just plain end paper. Another Nick printable there. So as you can see, lots of room for writing, lots of room for decorating. I haven't done much decorating in it. This is a page from a vintage book. It's kind of sciencey. Water and its constituents, experimental hygiene. This journal, the blue one, is quite male orientated. It's like, okay, obviously a girl could use it as well, but it would work equally as well for a guy, is what I'm saying. There are no flowery, lacy bits in it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so lots of different pages. I have included some of my little teardrop paper clips and things like that, a little bit of stamping and a little bit of collage, decoupage, not sure what you call it. And lots of different papers. There's also a bookmark in this one. Some digital stamping, some washi. This is actually a page from an old motorcycle magazine from 1947, and the date on it is actually December the 25th. just that wasn't by design, it just happened to be the one that I pulled out. A stamp, lots and lots of blank, deliciously tea stained papers that we took with some camera. A page from a book, a vintage book. Paper, this paper is just, it's absolutely stunning, to be honest. I love it. It's beautiful. Blank pages, some stamping, digital collage. Most of the prints, as in these kind of prints, and where is it from? Where is it from? And the little kind of ticket things that you see throughout, most of those are, this one, are Nick the Booksmith. Because I do love Nick's stuff. She is amazing. There's another one of Nick's, yeah. Just a little postal kind of stamp on this blank page here. More tea stain. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. I put a page out of that. There might be 2 pages of that in here. And this is a 1963 edition. And I have reinforced the fold on this with just a strip of actually Nick's paper again, just to make sure that it didn't tear, because it was quite, not fragile, but easily torn at the same time. That's the other side of that book page. Just a large paper clip, some stamping. More prints, different papers again, some music paper, another one of the pages out of that book, that heavy paper. And that is that one, and it's got my little my signature here at the bottom. Okay, so that is that one. A very sweet little journal. I haven't put a closure on it. You could put a closure on it if you wanted to, but I didn't think it needed it. Probably because I haven't put any ephemera in it and it's not gaping. Like I normally stuff my books to the last, but I wanted to leave this one and the next one just for writing, or for the purchaser to decorate it themselves. Just kind of a sweet book. Right, so here's quickly the other one. Is along the same veins, but it is more girly. It's got flowers and things in it. Again, Nick the Booksmith printable. This isn't a Nick the Booksmith one. I can't remember where that one came from. Little tuck, a little bit of ephemera, some stamping, all the different pages again. A little flip with a doily. These are pages from a children's book. It gives you lots of little puzzles and games to play. There's a couple of those pages in here. An Edith Holden page. So this kind of, when I was making this and flipping through it, it kind of struck me that it could have belonged to a child growing up in the countryside. So, you know, it's children and nature. It's just a child growing up in the countryside. It just, yeah, that's what it evoked in me. Now, obviously you can interpret it your own way, and once it's decorated, it can be decorated however you wish. So, little pockets and tucks and doily, Edith Holden. I added some paper clips and things in here as well. Let's stamp. This is a perfume card that I had in my stash, and I thought it worked really well in this particular journal. And it is still scented, just in the interest of being clear about things. It is still scented, so if you have an allergy to perfumes or anything, this may not be something that you would want to purchase. So this is a little notebook, and this is separate to the signatures. It's not sewn in with the signatures, it is stuck in the middle of the actual book, in between the signatures. So that's that, and it could probably be removed if you wanted it to. Another children's book page. garden plan, stamping. Again, very similar to the other one, just a slightly different theme. They're not themed as such, but you know, a slightly different feel to it. Another paper clip here. Some more printed pages. Again, this one is reinforced as well, just as a little extra decoration. This says children's special ticket, so again it brings back to mind a childhood book, a childhood journal maybe. Nests and eggs. With this page is one of the blank pages from the front of a book, but it had writing on it, and I didn't want to get rid of the writing. I wanted to use it, but I didn't want it to be just in the forefront either, so I put a vellum Tim Holtz piece over it, so you can still see the writing, but it's not in your face. And a little tuck, more doily, and a plate on the back with my signature piece. So that's that one. There's those two very sweet little journals. And for my next trick, these are little notebooks. They're not full-on journals. They are... I'm going to show you the covers of all of them, and then I'll do a flip through one, or maybe two, because there is some male ones there as well, some male kind of orientated ones as well. They all have... They don't all have different closures, but some of them have different closures. Most of them would have... I'm going to see if I can zoom out a bit there. Yeah. Oh. I'll have to do this in 2 batches, I think. So that's the first 4. We'll do them in 4s. Okay. And I'll zoom back in there. No. Okay, so that's the first 4. And the backs of them have been decorated as well. Now these came about because I had lots of these kind of style. They're actually chocolate boxes. I do like to upcycle and recycle card and things like that, and I thought these would make beautiful little notebooks. So I had quite a few of them, so I made all of them into notebooks. I don't do things by halves, do I? So yeah, that's the backs of those ones. Get the next 4. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so the closures, some of them have elastic closures, as you can see. Most of them have magnetic closures. So that's that. They all have little plates on the front for personalising. These are the backs. They all also have some sort of stamp or a label on the back. That's those 4. And 3 left. Oh no, 4 left. Yeah, I thought there was 4. This one. And this one. This way. So again we have our 4 little personalization plates. These all 4 of these have magnetic closure, and again they all have a little something on the back. So that's all the covers, and they're not generally themed. I have, in some instances, tried to match some of the materials that I was using. These are very much junky notebooks, more so than my journals are. This is a male one. It's got clocks and jewellery and fabric down the spine to reinforce that. And I've just done some little stamping, and I put in some pages and flips, all different kind of papers, some washi tapes, and just I've gessoed over the text in the book pages, so it's still coming through, but you can write on it as well. So different textures of papers, some prints, some papers that I just had tea dyed. This came from a French encyclopedia type book, and a vintage book page. Again, this is quite a male journal, so this is a mechanics book. And they're just sweet little notebooks. They're very nicely sized to put into a bag, a handbag, or have on a bedside table maybe. So very cute, and quite a few pages in them as well. I'm actually going to count the pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 sheets of paper, which gives you 48 pages front and back. So yeah, nice little size. That's one of the male ones, and I'm going to show you one of the more girly ones as well. So purple on the inside, and again just more pages. You can see more female orientated, doily, some prints and washies. Really nice markings on these tea stained papers as well. This is from that French encyclopedia from the botanique section. Ledger, and again a book page, and that's pretty much it throughout the back. Some washi, and I have done some stamping and things like that as well in here. Again with the gesso over the book text on some of the pages. Some music paper and the tie in the back. So this just, the flap goes over the pages and this goes back on here like this. And I'm going to show you just one more and you'll get the idea, I think, then. So this is actually probably my favourite cover. It's, the paper is from, I think it's Tim Holtz paper, I think. Now this has a space on the spine for a charm. That's not included unless you wanted to request it, I guess. But you could make your own and put that on here as well. So we have the inside pocket and some flip outs. Again, the same vein with the types of papers and things in here. I did try to include botanical pages in most of them. Some printing, a little pocket down here. Some washi. Different types of papers. Another book page. Pretty image on the inside of that one. So, stamping and washi, and that's actually a pocket as well. Again with the gesso on some of the text pages, music paper flip out, again gessoed for ease of writing on. And that's that one. So they all do kind of go along the same vein. There is one particular one that kind of lent itself to a theme more than the rest of them. Simply because I had, oh, it's actually gone. I actually gave it as a gift. It was a flamingo paper, and I had some flamingo ephemera, so I put that in there. But a friend of mine recently mentioned that she loves flamingo, so I ended up gifting it to her. Sorry about that. Okay, so there's 12 of those. There are 1, 2, there's at least 2 male orientated ones. Yep, those 2. And the rest have the doilies and things like that in them. There's magnetic closure as well if you wanted to see. A lot of them do have laces down the centre or material down the centre. Some of them don't, but most of them do. and there's 12 of them in my shop as we speak. So guys, that is what I have for you today. I think that was probably enough. Now the other two journals that I have in the shop are this one, which is a steampunk journal, and this one, which is a ladies journal, and I have videos on these two already, so I will link them below. Alright, thanks for watching guys. Do go and visit my shop, and I'll see you soon, hopefully. Bye!